Now, this is something else that's very cool. And this is called SBA loan money. This is an economic injury disaster loan. We call it EIDL, but it stands for Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And I like this. You're going to like this too. You're going to be able to get $10,000 of free money, okay? Totally tax-free. Now, what is an economic injury disaster loan? What's good about this particular thing is that you don't have to go to a bank. This one, you go on the SBA website. You can do it in your pajamas. You don't have to go anywhere. And you apply for the economic injury. As you go on the SBA website, sba.gov, you'll take a look. It'll talk about economic injury disaster loans or disaster loans. You apply for that. Now, you don't want the loan. I mean, I guess if you want the loan, you can get it. You can go up to $2 million. And you can pay. It gives you a 3.75% interest rate. But you really are not doing this for the loan. It's going to ask you, do you want an advance payment? You want to say yes. By getting an advance payment, then you've got to be either self-employed, an independent contractor, and have suffered in some way as a result of the coronavirus situation. You can get $10,000 of advance payment. Now, here's the interesting thing. It is free money. You do not have to pay it back. It is free. It is forgiven. You pay nothing. That's what you want to go here for. You want to get that advance payment. I wouldn't go there for the loan. The personal protection plan is much better from a loan perspective. But this is for the advance payment that will give you $10,000. And you don't have to do anything. You just go on the SBA website. I mean, it's for a half hour of your time, you'll make $10,000. It's not a bad deal, tax-free. All right? Now, let me give you a catch here. They've only allocated $10 billion to this plan. $10 billion. Now, you might think that's a lot of money. But the problem is, if you take the mathematics and you do a little calculator here, you take 10 billion, you divide by 10,000, that means that only the first million people who apply for this will get this $10,000 grant, in a sense. Well, there are 45 million independent contractors and small businesses in this country, which means you gotta move fast. Fast means today, okay? Maybe Monday. I'm not even sure it's even going to be around Monday. But you gotta move fast. This is not one of those things you want to sit on your fingers on, okay? Now, I will mention that if you get this loan, it integrates with the small business, with the payroll protection loan. So you won't get as much from the payroll protection loan. But so what? You get this $10,000 advance payment. It's $10,000. I would absolutely go for this, okay? If you don't want the payroll protection, because you don't have employees, you're an independent contractor, you don't need the payroll protection that much, and you're still working, then maybe this is fine. If you're not working, then sure, you want the payroll protection plan. But I want to emphasize this applies not only to those of you who are incorporated, this applies to those of you who are self-employed business, even independent contractors. Everybody gets this as part of the stimulus money. All right, let's keep going. Let's assume now you have a business and your business has been greatly affected. So you end up having a loss. And for the first 2.5 months, they're covering your payroll. I don't see how you're going to have a loss, but it can happen. Or you have a side business that generates a loss. Well, under the old rules, if you had a loss, you could only carry net losses forward and only against 80% of income. The government has changed the rules here. Now, if you have a net operating loss or a net loss from your business, and you're an LLC or something like that, or you can carry it back 5 years and get a refund for the last 5 years of taxes that you pay, or carry it forward indefinitely without that 80% limit. They've changed these net operating losses. If you're a corporation, it's a little different rules, but it's still beneficial. So be aware that they've improved the net operating losses.